Hi everyone, and welcome back to our daily news roundup. Today we cover a wide range of important stories, so let's dive right in. First up, after nearly 6 months, the government has lifted the ban on onion exports, a move welcomed by many. However, the celebration comes with a few caveats. The government has imposed a minimum export price of $550 per ton, along with a hefty 40% export duty. This decision follows concerns about high food inflation and ensuring adequate domestic supply earlier this year. It's also worth noting the timing, as key onion growing regions in Gujarat and Maharashtra are headed for Lok Sabha elections. The opposition has criticized the government's earlier move to allow limited white onion exports from Gujarat, calling it unfair to farmers in Maharashtra. Globally, onion prices have been volatile due to export bans by major suppliers like India, Pakistan, and Egypt. Interestingly, Egypt recently lifted its ban after a 300% increase in production, and Pakistan followed suit. This raises questions about the timing and necessity of India's export restrictions. Moving on to a developing political scandal, former Karnataka minister and JDS legislator H.D. Revanna was recently arrested by a special investigation team in Bengaluru. He, along with his aide Satish Babu, are accused of abducting a woman. The woman's son filed a complaint and the SIT rescued her from a farmhouse in Mysuru, reportedly owned by Revanna's associate. Things get even more serious as Revanna's anticipatory bail petition was rejected, and statements from the rescued woman might lead to a potential rape case against his son Prajwal Revanna, who is also a JDS MP. The abduction allegedly took place on April 29th, possibly aimed at preventing the woman from testifying against Prajwal Revanna. SIT officials are currently conducting investigations at the residence of both Revanna and his son. In a bizarre turn of events, the Enforcement Directorate has filed a money laundering case against popular YouTuber Elvish Yadav and others. The case stems from allegations of using snake venom as a recreational drug at parties hosted by Yadav. Authorities suspect proceedings from these parties were used for further illegal activities. Yadav was previously arrested by Noida police in connection with the case. This is a unique situation that highlights the rise of unconventional ways of generating illicit funds. Now let's shift gear to some positive economic news. A recent study predicts Tamil Nadu's economy to grow at a rate of 8.08% to 10.69% in the upcoming year, exceeding the national average. This continues a trend of Tamil Nadu outperforming the nation with an average growth rate of 10.3% between 2005-2006 and 2011-2012. However, looking at the bigger picture, growth has slowed down compared to the double-digit figures of the early 2000s. The COVID-19 pandemic, the Russia-Ukraine conflict, and the global interest rate hikes have impacted its growth. Additionally, the state, like many others, struggles with public debt. On the political front, Prime Minister Narendra Modi reignited tensions during a rally in Bihar. He criticized former Railway Minister Lalu for allegedly protecting those responsible for the Godhra train burning incident, which claimed the lives of over 60 people. He criticized the Banerjee Commission report, which cleared Lalu of direct responsibility, calling it biased. While acknowledging that those responsible were ultimately punished by the court, this statement is likely to inflame tensions ahead of upcoming elections. Moving on, the Supreme Court of India issued a significant ruling today regarding domestic violence. While acknowledging the seriousness of domestic abuse, they cautioned against automatic police intervention in marital disputes. This comes after a rise in cases with Section 498A, which deals with cruelty by a husband or his relatives towards a woman. This section was increasingly being misused for false accusations or as a tool of extortion. The court emphasized that police intervention should be reserved for genuine cases of cruelty and harassment. It also highlighted the detrimental effects of involving the police in minor quarrels, stressing the importance of seeking reconciliation first. Legal experts are now calling for amendments to relevant sections of the Indian Penal Code to reflect these pragmatic relations. In a troubling development, a terror attack in Poonch, Jammu and Kashmir has claimed the life of one soldier and injured several others. Militants ambushed an Indian Air Force convoy, sparking a firefight. Reinforcements arrived quickly and a massive search operation is launched in the area. This attack is particularly concerning as the Poonch-Rajouri belt has seen increased militant activity in recent years. Additionally, it coincides with the preparations for upcoming elections in the region, raising concerns about attempts to disrupt the diplomatic process. In international news, Canadian authorities have arrested 3 Indian nationals suspected of murdering Khalistani separatist Hardeep Singh Nijjar. The investigation suggests potential involvement of more individuals possibly linked to the Indian government. India's External Affairs Minister has emphasized his desire for more information from Canada, stating that they haven't received substantial evidence to substantiate accusations. This case highlights the ongoing tensions between India and Canada. New Delhi is concerned about organized crime linked to Punjab operating in Canada and pending extradition requests. Additionally, India criticizes Canada for harboring Khalistani separatists while seeking to crack down on cross-border terrorism. In a significant development in the Middle East, ceasefire talks have begun between Hamas and Israel in Egypt, mediated by Qatar and the United States. While a final agreement is not yet in place, there are some encouraging signs. Hamas is reportedly considering a 40-day ceasefire proposal that includes a hostage exchange. However, Israel remains cautious, waiting for concrete steps before sending a delegation. Negotiations previously stalled due to conflicting demands, with Hamas pushing for a long-term ceasefire and Israel seeking to neutralize remaining militants in Rafah. The international community is concerned about a potential ground assault in Rafah by the Israeli military, which could escalate the conflict further. Finally, turning to South America, a devastating natural disaster is unfolding in Brazil. Torrential storms have triggered massive floods, causing widespread devastation. The death toll has climbed to 39, with dozens missing and thousands displaced. The situation in state capital, Porto Alegre, is particularly alarming, with rising floodwaters threatening the city. The disaster has affected over 265 municipalities, causing injuries, displacing thousands, and leaving hundreds of thousands facing property damage. Rescue workers are struggling to reach isolated communities as infrastructure has been severely damaged. President Lula da Silva has declared a state of emergency and allocated resources for relief efforts. Climate experts attribute the intense storm to a combination of global warming and the El Nino phenomena. And this concludes our top news stories for today. For more updates, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Until next time, this is Chronicle Daily signing off.